We can always find our way to a fun moment, even in the shady bunch.
What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review for the Real Housewives of nope, it ain't the Real Housewives, nothing. It's your review for Married to Medicine Reunion Part 2. So season 8 reunion Part 2. So we pick up where we left off with Contessa talking about, well, it really wasn't Contessa, it was Quad talking about Scott, the separation. Now, the guys are backstage, and at first Scott's listening, and Scott's like, well, yeah, we did file for a separation, but she pulled it back. And the guys are like, it don't sound like she pulled nothing back. Like, I don't know about that. And Scott was like, well, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, if this is what we doing, then I'm not doing this, then I'm out of here. And so, you know, he got his stuff, and he was about to leave. And Cecil was like, yo, this is not good at all. This is not good at all. So Curtis went to go talk to Scott, and he said, listen, I understand how you feel, and I understand you ready to go. He said, but you need to understand this. If you don't go out there and tell your side of the story, that is all people are going to hear. He said, and what you got to understand is this is for the world. And if you don't go tell your side of the story, then all people are going to hear is what she's saying. And if you're saying that your side of the story is different from hers, then you need to go out there and tell your story. Now, I don't think Cecil meant in that moment. Okay. But that's what Scott did. Scott went out there and sort of interrupted the conversation because Child Quad went off on the whole tangent. Quad is talking about, well, I think that Contessa has, I think she filed the separation as a final, let me get your attention. I think she's trying. I'm like, why is Quad talking? Listen, Contessa, you let Quad talk because Quad was saying what you wanted her to say. Okay, but it wasn't fair to Quad that you basically made her look like I'm just gonna tell it all, because like she said, everybody on that stage knew your business, but you wanted somebody else to tell it, and so they did. So Quad told it. Now Scott comes out there, and Scott was like, "Why are you telling people we filed for divorce?" And she was like, "I didn't tell nobody we filed for divorce. I said separation." And Andy was like, "Well, you didn't know?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know. I got the paperwork." And he was like, "Okay, well, that's all she said." And in Scott's mind, he somehow translated separation and divorce. And he was like, "Well, what's the difference? I mean, separation. What's the difference? What's the difference?" Here's the thing. When I walked away, I'm going to keep going because this conversation went on for a minute. And I'm sure that if it went on for a minute and what they showed us, I can only imagine how long, because we know these reunions, they film these reunions 10, 12 hours. And if we got a 10, 15 minute moment in a reunion, this must have gone on for a minute, right? The guys are on the side of the stage. Like, I could tell they kind of wanted to come out, but they was like, ugh. But Scott and Contessa, didn't they go off on this whole, okay, I said I was going to talk about Scott. I'm going to get back to Scott, child, shoot. So then they go off on this whole tangent about social media. And Scott was like, yeah, because last year I didn't even know nothing about no DMs. When you was asking me about DMs, I didn't know nothing about no DMs. Contessa was like, child, social media is the least of our issue. Like, women dropping in his DMs is the least of our issue. Then they were like, well, Contessa, tell the truth about why you went to Nashville. Now, if you watch Dr. Heavenly's reviews, she has alluded to this a couple of times. And basically what we found out was that was sort of a separation. Like, Contessa didn't just up and run to Nashville because she wanted another degree. That was sort of a trial separation. And it's sort of not a trial separation like it was an official separation, but like in Contessa's mind, like, I'm going to shock him into understanding how serious this is. I'm going to shock him into wanting this family. I'm going to shock him into fighting for us. And So when you go back to last season, and now you remember him not coming to visit. When she came home, him acting like he needed to take care of it was just like understanding. Now you like, okay, so you left to get his attention, and you still didn't seem like you got the attention that you was trying to get from him. And so then Andy asked, well, how long ago did she file the separation paperwork? He couldn't even remember how long ago it was. He told us something, it's been about a month. Contessa was like, it's been 6. Sir, your wife served you with separation paperwork. Because in the state of Georgia, if I'm not correct, now y'all can correct me in the comments. In the state of Georgia, you have to be separated before you can be divorced. So that is step 1. Some states you can just go and file for divorce. In other states, you have to be separated for a certain amount of time, legal separated. I know in Maryland, it used to be, I think they've changed it, but it used to be a year that you had to be legally separated before you could file for divorce. And so that is step 1. That is step 1. And the fact that you can't remember whether it was a month ago or 6 months ago that your wife served you with. Now, I ain't saying you had to remember the exact date and time. But there's a big difference between 1 month and 6. Then they were talking about the rumors. And Dr. Heavenly even said, she said, well, Scott, I just think a lot of us are wondering about why are there so many rumors? And he said, well, as far as I know, there aren't any. Dr. Heavenly said, but there are. There are a lot of rumors about you out there cheating. So messy Andy. Well, are you cheating on your wife? And of course he said no. What the hell is he supposed to say? I mean, of course he gonna say no. But let me say this about everything with this whole affect that Scott has. It's almost like, I know my marriage is fucked up. She know our marriage is fucked up. But I don't want nobody else to know. And so I'm going to sit here and play dumb, and I'm going to sit here and play stupid, because I don't really want to acknowledge, and I don't really want to let on that I understand how bad things really are. Like, it's a weird, like, it was like Scott, it's like just, I felt like Contessa was ready to put it all out there on the table, and Scott was like, nah, we're not doing that. And I'm going to sit here and pretend like I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm going to sit here and pretend like that, and look at you crazy, because I'm not going to sit here and play this game with you. And it was so weird. I was like, what is Scott for real? Then she was talking about, Contessa was saying, that basically right now they're in a very toxic situation. She said their arguments are bad. Their arguments are toxic. And she even said, she said volatile. And so then Scott wanted to clear up the volatile, because I guess he didn't want people walking away thinking physical. Because when I hear volatile, I'm not saying I think they beating each other's ass. That ain't what I'm saying. But I do feel like, okay, are you throwing stuff? Like, volatile puts a certain, it's a word. It puts certain things in your head. And so everybody on the stage crying except for Scott, child. Everybody crying. Everybody got a little tear dropping. And so, I don't feel like we came to no kind of resolution, but we take a break. And backstage, Contessa sort of lashes out at Jackie and Simone and them, because here's the thing. Let me say this. I don't think Jackie and Simone did or said anything wrong. They were telling her, Jackie was like, y'all need to go to counseling, and it needs to be consistent, and it needs to be intense. And Simone, Contessa was like, well, I go to counseling, whether he shows up or not, I'm there. But that's not what she said, ma'am. Like, the relationship is together. You can't fix it apart. Like, it just don't work. It don't work like that. You can't, because it is, like she said, well, y'all, I'm not going to let y'all put this on me. One minute you say I'm being passive, and then because Jackie said something about manifesting, don't speak the negativity into existence. Stop manifesting the negativity. And she said, but then when I post happy pictures on social media, you tell me, that I'm being fake. And I don't think that's what Jackie was saying. Like, it's okay if you are having a happy moment, but what she's saying is, see, that goes back to Scott and the image that y'all want to put out there versus what's really going on. That don't mean you got to invite everybody into your home. But what's confusing to your friends is if I call you every night and tell you how horrible of a man I live with and how terrible he treats me and how bad he talks to me and I think he cheating on me and he ain't doing right by me, and then the next day you see us line dancing down to the birthday party, smiling and grinning in each other's face like everything is everything. I'm saying that because I remember seeing them at Donnell Joe's birthday party. I'm just saying. That's the shit that I'm talking about. And I think that's what Jackie was trying to say. But then she jumped down their throat, honey. And they were like, listen, we're not coming at you. We want you to understand that we're not coming at you, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot a whole big part. The whole girlfriend thing came up again. The daddy's got a girlfriend and Suri saying which girlfriend and all that. And listen, the more Scott talked, the worse it got. And he started talking about how it was just a joke. It wasn't, and that's not what happened. And then he tried to demonstrate, and it was something totally different. And that damn Heavenly told me something. He changed it. That ain't what it was doing before. He done changed it. And it did. Yeah, just let it go. Just, Scott, you should have just let that one go. Sir, just, sometimes you just got to know. Kenny Rogers told us, you got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. And know when to run. Scott, you were supposed to run! Anyway. So, then we come back on stage. Well, no, her and Toya actually have a moment. And it was nice to see because, excuse me, at the beginning of the season, her and Toya were not in a good place. So it was nice to see that out of all of the women, Toya was the one that was able to kind of get her to calm down and kind of get her to see and hear, We come back on stage and now it is Jackie and Simone's turn. So we go through this whole montage of Jackie and Simone and how they fixed their friendship and how they came back together, and they even afterwards said, yeah, we're in a better place and we're not, basically we ain't where we were, but we do talk and we're studying together and we're this and we're that. Child, excuse me, it got around to Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly said, Andy, I'm sorry, but I just call bullshit on all of this. She said, they don't talk like they used to talk. They don't hang out like they used to hang out. And I know because I talk to Jackie every day. And so then Simone was like, well, I never said we talk every day. I didn't say we were back where we were, but I did say that, she said, what I did genuinely. Like, because Quad said something about they only did it for the cameras. They only made up for TV. And Simone was like, I don't do that fake stuff. Like, if I genuinely had these conversations with Jackie, like maybe that's what you do for TV, but that ain't what I do for TV. So then they started, and, Quad was like, well, listen, let me tell you something. Quad is angling for another talk show host job because she did a good job. Listen, Andy let her take over because, Andy ain't worried about nobody taking his job, okay? But Andy let her take over. But listen, she did a good job. She was getting down to the nitty gritty. She was asking the right questions. And what she said was, y'all don't talk like I used to. Y'all aren't friends like y'all were. And I want to know why. We want to know why. Y'all, they still mad about that shit from last year. Listen. Here's what I need both of y'all to just do. I need both of y'all to accept that y'all behave badly and move the fuck on. Jackie, you treated Buffy badly. Period. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. You was wrong for bringing that woman medical business up. And when y'all was sitting down to the table in Mexico and all she wanted was a damn apology, you was nasty then. And I don't care why you was nasty. I don't care what happened before that. I don't care what was edited out. What we saw is what we need to go by. What we saw, what we go by is that you was nasty to that woman. That's it. That's all. Now, Simone, you mad because you feel like Jackie became better friends with Heavenly and took up for Heavenly and or whatever over you and using your feelings because you feel like, listen, I done known you 20 years, she done known you 2 years, and you know that she got some shit with her, so why are you putting us on the same level? I feel like personally that's petty, but I can understand you having a feeling about it, but I think that's a petty reason to stop speaking to somebody. Now I know it cuts deep and it's probably deeper than what we seeing, but at the end of the day, y'all, for real though, and it seems like it boils down to Simone, because Simone said, listen, I hold grudges and it's hard. It's hard for me to recover. Once I'm mad about something, it's hard. It's hard for me to come back from it. And so that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you got two stubborn ass women that's having a hard time getting past the fact that their feelings was hurt. They were really good friends at once. And let's be clear about something. Sometimes it's hard. Once there's a break in the friendship, it's hard to get back to where you were. And it does take a lot of work. You gotta work at that. You have to really push yourself to get back to that place. So, I don't know. They said, Simone said that after this is over with, she wanted to invite, take Emily out for her birthday because she missed her party, her 50th birthday party, and she's going to invite Jackie, so she was going to have Emily there to be the buffer and really try to really sit down and really try to work through some of this stuff. And I hope they can, because, they were friends before. The one thing I hate seeing with these reality shows is people who came onto the show friends, like genuinely they were friends before the show started, and then getting to a place where they're not friends anymore. And I hate seeing that. So then the guys came out. The ladies went in the back and the guys came out. And y'all know they made a beeline straight for Scott again, honey. They made a beeline straight for Scott. And they started talking about this damn life coach. Listen, Scott, Sir, come here, If somebody think you a thief, you don't joke about stealing something, okay? If things between you and your wife ain't good and your wife wants you to go to therapy and has been begging for you to go to therapy and pleading for you to go to therapy and she done went out here and got herself a life coach and you gonna sit there and lie about having a life coach, sir, first of all, I think that story is bullshit. But even if I believed it, that's dumb. That's just dumb. Why are you lying about having a life coach? That's just dumb. And it didn't make sense to no damn body. Now, Scott and Cecil and Curtis are going to have your back because that's what guys do. And that's what they supposed to do, okay? They are supposed to pretend like they believe that bullshit. Because the women are going to come for you. So they got to at least pretend like they are providing a united front for you, okay? But that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And they know it's the dumbest shit they ever heard. As far as having women's pictures in your phone, now he's trying to see. The other thing I don't like about Scott is Scott was playing word games. Scott, stop playing them word games, okay? Stop playing those word games. Talking about some, I didn't have a picture in my phone. Okay, well, was it a website that you were looking at? It doesn't matter, sir. Because let's be clear, I don't even care so much about whether the picture was permanently a part of your photo gallery in your phone. What I care about is that you pulled it up and you was with your boys talking about how fine she is. And yeah, I know my wife ain't going to let her work there, but baby, look at her. I don't give a good God. I don't care where you got the picture from, sir. And listen, Scott, you got some shit with you, Scott. You playing games. You playing word games. And one thing I can't stand for nobody to piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. The word games that you playing are not cute. Get it together. I like you, Scott. I don't know you like that. I shouldn't even say that because I don't even know you, sir. I like the idea of what I thought I knew about you. Okay? Anyway, that's it. Listen, part 3 is next week, and then we will move forward. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.